Brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, today we stand in protest alongside millions of people across the world on this day of action to send a clear message that our people will never submit to the tyranny of Zionism. From every corner of the globe, from Palestine to Lebanon to Yemen to right here in the diaspora, we will rise in defiance of colonial violence. We will rise in demand for our total liberation and in demand for our right to return to our lands. We stand with our brave people in Gaza who refuse to surrender in the face of a 17-year-long siege, 76-year-long occupation, and most recently, 12 months of genocide. 12 months of children watching their families get murdered by the terrorist state, only to suffer their own demise. 12 months of doctors working under destructed buildings and makeshift materials to save our people. 12 months of journalists being targeted and murdered by the terrorist state for exposing war crimes and blatant abuse. 12 months of young adults to survive multiple attacks for their own existence, only to witness their close ones martyred by the IDF. 12 months of complicity of nations and companies such as Maersk. Maersk is the largest logistics company and is the #1 shipper of weapons to Israel, and throughout history supplied arms for the U.S. occupation of Iraq and Afghanistan. Maersk's profits are dripping with the blood of the Palestinian people. I want you all to turn around and look at the port right here behind me. I want you to turn around and look at all of the Sailor's Sea in front of you. I want you all to understand that these beautiful waters and that eyesore of a port, this is where weapons are being transported across these waters to murder our people. We need to understand that this is happening right here. It is Maersk that transports them into our own community. And it is our duty here to continue fighting non-stop for an arms embargo, to cut off Israel's supply of weapons ourselves, which are being transported right here. It is Maersk that transports them into our own community, and it is our duty to continue fighting. It has been 12 months of genocide, but it's also been 12 months of resistance. 12 months of people uprising all around the world. 12 months of students rising up and facing scrutiny, discrimination, and doxing to demand an end to the university's complicity in genocide. 12 months in demands to disclose, divest. They will not stop, they will not rest. And they haven't, and they have not. 12 months of the people hitting the streets and facing arrest to demand the obvious. Stop using our tax dollars to murder innocent people.
Okay, so what do you feel that this protest is about?
So, if you look down there, you know, I believe in a world, I am pro-Israel, but I believe in a world where we must live with Palestinians, there's no other choice. But you look down there, and a lot of stuff that, you know, they're waving Hezbollah flags and Hamas flags. You know, people who have stated that they want dead Jews explicitly. And what's so disgusting is I think they're commemorating a terrible event, and they're not so much concerned about the civilians down there because they said we need to keep steadfast. If they really, really did care about a ceasefire, they would say, I call on Israel and Hamas and Hezbollah, you know, to go to a ceasefire, but that's not what we see.
Okay, and what would you say to the Palestinians who are living under Israelis, I'll say occupation, I'm not sure if
I know many of you hate Hamas. I know this has been a terribly traumatic time for you, and that Hamas has brought misery. You have to see it also from my side, where, you know, I've seen things that, you know, people haven't seen. I was in the Gaza theater of the war.
Okay.
And as a reservist.
For the IDF?
For the IDF.
Okay.
And, you know, I've been privy to stuff, you know, and we saw stuff on October 7th that has nothing to do. Look, I'm not an extremist. If you want to come after me, I'm not someone saying a non-state actor can't come after military targets. They killed some of my friends. Fair game, honestly. Yeah, I'm going to fight back.
Okay.
But what they did was they raped women. There's, you know, unreleased photos that I've seen of, you know, a woman who has a bottle sticking out of her vagina.
Okay.
You know, and other things where they kidnapped little children in Gaza for a year. There is someone, there is a little 1-year-old child who is an infant who was, is that freedom fighting? And I think down there they consider that to be. And I've tried my best to engage with them. I kind of went off topic, but to the West Bank, I want to live in a world where we can all live together. You are my cousins. And in order to do that, I really think you guys need to rise up against Hamas, because they are keeping you down. And I see how you're suffering, but it is all the leaders over in Qatar, chilling in their jacuzzi with their billions of dollars, who are taking advantage of you.
Okay. And finally, would it be safe to describe you as Israeli?
That's a good question. No, I grew up in the United States.
Okay.
I'm Jewish. I volunteered after college to do the Israeli army because I felt a calling. You know, because those are my families over there, but also because my goal in life is to help people. And you know, there's a lot of hard things in the Middle East. Like you said, occupation. You know, I want to tell you a story of a friend where it's not so simple. You know, where I had a friend who he was on a checkpoint in the West Bank, and you know, an ambulance. There was a woman having a heart attack in an ambulance. And he said, you need to let them through. I'm going to let you through because they're going the way to the hospital. The commander says, stop. He says, no, I'm not going to search that ambulance. This woman's dying. So then the commander goes, takes the woman off the bed, finds 2 AK-47s and 3 grenades in her. It is a lot more complicated than what people think. And what you see down there, even though I am pro-Israel, is a much more gray view. It's a much more gray view. If you see yourself as 100% the victim or 100%, you know, the oppressor, or if you see it like that, that's not it. And I'm not sacrificing, you know, the Palestinian people on the altar of a political agenda like I think these folks are.
Okay. And finally, I guess if you had something to say to your former soldiers in the IDF, would you like to give them a message?
Yeah. If you see any wrongdoing, speak out against it. We have a code, but also just, you know, humanity, and be steadfast. I know it's hard, and I know you guys have seen a lot of things, and you've grown up way too soon, but, you know, there was always kind of this impression that your generation was, you know, just wanted to go to the bars in Tel Aviv. You weren't tough, but, man, you guys stood up when it was time to stand up. You guys have been fantastic.
Okay, thank you for your time, and can I get your...